Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the place where we take just stacks of information and really try to boil it down for you into those essential
Yeah,
nuggets.
the key takeaways.
Exactly. And today we are diving into the, well, pretty thrilling world of the 2025 NBA draft. It's always such a pivotal moment shaping the future of the league.
Right. And our mission for you today is really to, cut through all the noise, pinpoint the picks that are going to make the biggest waves, and unpack some of those surprising stories that always pop up.
Yeah, there are always twists.
Always. So you'll hopefully walk away with a shortcut to understanding not just, who went where, but really why it matters, connecting those dots.
Okay, sounds good. Let's dive straight in then. The top of the draft board, we saw some, really incredible talent go off early. Sets the stage.
For sure.
First up, number one, the Dallas Mavericks. Big move for them, securing Cooper Flagg from Duke. Our sources, everyone really, calls him this versatile two-way forward, maybe the best prospect in years. What makes him stand out so much?
Well, I think what's really exceptional about Flagg and why he was pretty much the consensus number one is you don't often see that kind of court vision in a player his size combined with like an already polished defensive game.
Right.
He can step in and impact both ends right away.
Yeah.
Guard multiple spots, make smart plays, that kind of foundational two-way impact. It's just incredibly rare.
Yeah.
Usually guys need years to develop one side or the other.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Okay, so then coming in at number two, the San Antonio Spurs picked Dylan Harper from Rutgers. He's described as a really skilled playmaking guard. Seems like a perfect fit next to Wembanyama.
Exactly. Harper brings that elite ball handling, the playmaking you need to really unlock an offense.
Mm-hmm.
You pair him with a dominant force inside like Wemby, and, well, that pick and roll becomes instantly dangerous. Plus, he has the vision to kick it out to shooters. It just makes the whole team better offensively.
Okay. Then the Philadelphia 76ers, they grabbed VJ Edgecombe from Baylor at number three. Noted as an elite defender, but maybe with some room to grow on offense.
That's the profile, yeah.
Yeah.
Defense first, lockdown potential. The offense is seen as needing a bit more polish, but the upside is definitely there.
And rounding out the top five, let's see, the Charlotte Hornets took Knuppel from Duke at 4, described as a versatile wing. And then the Utah Jazz picked Ace Bailey from Rutgers at number 5.
Bailey at 5, yeah.
And we'll probably circle back to him because there was some buzz there.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But just to give everyone the full picture, let's quickly run through the rest of the top 10. Number 6, Trey Johnson from Texas went to the Wizards. Number 7, Jeremiah Fears from Oklahoma to the Pelicans.
Okay.
Number 8, Igor Demon, BYU guy, to the Nets. 9 was Colin Murray Boyles from South Carolina to the Raptors. And number 10, Kaman Maluak from Duke went to the Suns. But wait, that pick came via the Rockets, right?
That's right. Pick swap or Preje's trade. We'll probably get into that too.
Yeah, good point. So, okay, beyond just the names and the talent, which is obviously huge, this draft had some really fascinating underlying narratives, the stories behind the picks.
Absolutely. The draft is never just about the players themselves. It's the context, the trends, the surprises.
So let's start with one of the biggest ones. The Mavericks lottery game. I mean, Dallas got the number 1 pick with only, a 1.8% chance?
Yeah, tiny odds. Incredible luck.
How does that kind of, lightning strike impact a franchise's path forward?
Well, it's massive. It can fundamentally change everything. You're talking about potentially leapfrogging years of rebuilding, getting a potential superstar like Flagg when you weren't expecting to even be in that conversation. It just accelerates your timeline dramatically. It's a total game changer for their planning.
Right. And speaking of planning and trajectory, our source material mentions this kind of intriguing phrase, Spurs building in Denmark. Now, San Antonio gets Harper at 2 after Wemby last year, consecutive top picks. But what's this building in Denmark bit about? What does that signify?
Yeah, that phrase building in Denmark, it definitely catches the eye, doesn't it?
Right.
As stated in the source, it's a bit mysterious.
Yeah.
But it strongly hints, I think, at San Antonio really doubling down on international scouting and maybe even development, perhaps setting up some kind of overseas base or pipeline.
Interesting.
Combine that with getting 2 top 5 guys back-to-back, it suggests a very clear, very intentional long-term strategy. They're rebuilding, yes, but maybe with a unique global focus, looking beyond just the NCAA.
Definitely paints a picture of a wider vision. Okay, let's circle back, like we said, to Ace Bailey. The whole workout snub story. He reportedly skips a workout with the Sixers, which usually raises some eyebrows. Yet Utah still takes him at number 5. What does that whole episode tell us about maybe draft dynamics today? player agency versus team assessment.
It really raises that important question, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How do teams weigh talent against potential red flags? Skipping a workout, that's usually seen as, well, problematic. Could be commitment issues, could be hiding something, could be trying to dictate where you land.
Mm.
For Utah to still pull the trigger at 5, it suggests a few possibilities. Maybe their own intel calmed their nerves, maybe they trust their culture and development staff, or maybe they just decided the sheer talent level outweighed any perceived risk.
Right.
It definitely highlights that complex calculation teams make. And it shows, players do have some agency, but teams ultimately make the call based on their own risk tolerance and evaluation.
We're also seeing pretty clearly, I think, this trend of global reach continuing, maybe even accelerating in this draft.
Oh, absolutely. What's fascinating here is just how routine it's becoming. You see, like the source mentioned, Chinese center Yang Hansen getting drafted at number 16.
Yeah.
And it's not just one or two guys anymore. It signifies that the scouting landscape is permanently wider. Teams have to look globally now. The talent pool is international, and it's impacted how rosters are built, the types of players teams look for.
And one more really interesting sort of strategic piece is the Durant trade impact. So Houston traded away their own top 10 pick as part of that huge Kevin Durant deal, right?
Right.
But the source says they still ended up selecting at number 10, but it was on Phoenix's behalf. Can you unpack that a little? It sounds complicated.
It's a great example of how those past deals, especially involving pick swaps or protections, can ripple forward. So in the Durant trade, Houston likely acquired the rights to Phoenix's 2025 first-round pick.
Ah, okay.
That pick happened to land at number 10, so even though Houston's own pick might have been worse, or maybe they traded it away entirely, they still benefit by getting to use the pick they got from Phoenix.
Got it.
It's smart long-term asset management. You make a big trade, but you structure it so you still have incoming assets like draft picks down the line. Houston played the long game there.
Okay, so we've seen the picks, we've seen some of the stories. What does this all mean now? What comes next for these players, these teams? Where do things go after draft night?
Well, the draft itself isn't quite over, right? Night 2 is coming up June 26, 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. That's round 2.
Right, round 2. Often some hidden gems there.
Yeah, exactly. That's where you often expect maybe more trades, teams taking flyers on international prospects, guys who might be developmental projects. Savvy teams can find real value in the second round.
And then I suppose the real work starts, rookie development.
Absolutely. That's the crucial next step. The focus immediately shifts to, okay, how do these guys adapt to the NBA game?
Yeah.
We'll be watching Cooper Flagg. Can he make that immediate two-way impact everyone expects? How does Dylan Harper translate that playmaking, playing alongside Wembanyama? That's a key dynamic.
And Ace Bailey in Utah, after all the talk.
Right. What role does he carve out? Can he integrate smoothly and deliver on that top 5 talent? It's all about that transition now, seeing if the potential matches the reality on an NBA court.
So as these new players start their pro journeys, it's worth considering, how these early stages, how the fit between the talent in the team, and even the surprising draft night stories we talked about, how all of that will fundamentally shape the league's competitive landscape for years. What kind of impact will you be watching for as these young guys start to make their mark?